name is Victor, you know, I was in Greystone when they had a Greystone. So it was like Middle Creek and Greystone. I was like, man, he was the guys who didn't care. They had to tell us to shut up. And if she didn't say shut up, she wasn't gonna listen. You know, it was like necessary. You know, I left Greystone. I think I went home for 9 months, maybe. Ended up going upstate for a few years. You know what I mean? I still thought I knew everything, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? And it was all a circle. It was all a process that came full circle, I'll say. Right now, I'm in business. Right now, I'm in school. Right now, I got 2 jobs, right? And I could probably be involved in everything I was ever involved in at any point in time from probably 12 years old, right? Craziest part about it, what you say?
Yeah, you are.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. One of my favorites. That's all I got left too. They broke in houses. I had 2 houses, right? This is in 2021 is when I got this one. I had a house on the north side. I had 2 houses on the north side of Pittsburgh. They were both broken into. This is actually the last designer hoodie, maybe one or two that I got. I used to have closets for them. Closets. I wouldn't have wore these shoes in here, believe it or not. I wouldn't have wore a pair of black Air Forces in here 3-4 years ago. So that just shows you how, if I was to come in here and tell you like I just got it all figured out, I wouldn't be lying. But I could genuinely say that because I've been in a lot of different predicaments. I've been the baddest kid in the room, like the worst. And I've been the smartest. It's all on kind of how you choose or who you let yourself be. One thing that changed my mind and really had me move different was the world's really changing in front of our faces. And as kids, you don't see it because you're a kid, even though you don't think you're a kid. You're a kid. So the world doesn't hit you the same. Your responsibility level's not the same. I'm 9 state. When I was here in 2010, man, bro, it's crazy. I'm here talking to you. My mind state when I went upstate, when I left Greystone, it's a lot of people who don't expect you to be nothing more than what you're showing. And it's a lot of people who don't care. It's really up for you to care because that's when you can get something different out of the experiences. I used to believe that they make it like what's going to happen is already going to happen, right? It is what it is. That's not really true. The world you're going to experience is so up to you right now. I don't care what the circumstances is. I don't care if you was from the worst part of the world or the richest part of the world. You know, and that's what I think I learned through it all. You can really, you know, I used to hear them say stuff, it was real cliche, like you could be whatever you want to be. That's really not a lie. I think that maturing is spiritual. It's more spiritual to me than religion. Because I know a lot of religious dudes who just ain't good people, regardless. But mature people, responsible people, it don't matter what your religion is. Responsible person has character traits that make them more likely to succeed. Being a responsible person, being a respectful person, it gives you an opportunity to see way more than I don't care. Oh, you don't care, you don't even matter for real. You don't care. You're in a world full of people who do though. And one day you will too. And you don't want your decisions because you like, oh, okay, I'm hard. I used to like put my hands on people. Like a lot. Okay. Be playing like that. Fact, you gonna wake up one day and you ain't gonna get angry. You ain't even gonna feel like that no more. But everything you ever did before that day is what they know you for. And now it wouldn't matter. They can give you $1 million, you're not gonna be able to do nothing with it. Don't nobody want to be around you, don't nobody want to do business with you, don't nobody like you. You know what I'm saying? That's not no way to create your life. And when you're young, you really got the power. Like you don't even know how much power is in your hands. You're not born in the 60s where didn't nobody know. You got all the information. You got all the resources. You in a generation where you just gotta want to do it. You can get on ChatGPT and run a business. Like you can get on AI right now and know stuff that people had to go to school for 5-10 years to know. Like it really don't make sense to be careless and all that there because the world you live in, you're really able to go do whatever you want. Like, it's so not a game. You just need an idea. I know you come up with an idea. That was my problem. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had all kind of money. I don't know what I want to do. I don't want to do nothing. And I feel like because I had the money, I don't have to do nothing. You'd be surprised what could change in 7, 8 years, 7, 8 days, honestly. But over time, you want to be ahead of the world. You get an idea, you want to be on your next one already. I was telling the other guys about all-state career, so I go to school at.
Oh, geez. Look at this kid.
Oh, love of God.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
Now, look at this guy. I used to work with him in 2009. Arguably one of the best young men I ever worked with. And I'll tell you why. Take a lesson from him. This kid never took anything personal. He got confronted, he'd smile and accept. He had a buddy named Nate. Remember Nate? Alumni?
This is in Sweeney Home.
This is a Greystone.
Oh, okay, my bad. I've been here twice, by the way.
He was here
I
twice.
can't remember what group home was talking. I used to get in trouble for real.
Listen, he was so awesome and great at Sweeney that my boss, Eric, on his last day at Sweeney goes,
Harry.
well, Vic, yeah, see you at Greystone. And Vic goes,
That's who I was trying to remember his name in the last class.
Talking about Eric, yes.
My man, Eric,
Yes.
Little Eric.
a polar opposite, literally. And he's an authority role. He could tell me, sit down and be quiet. That was worse than hitting me, huh? Crazy part is he doesn't know that. This is how maniacal I was. I thought I was a genius. I could be whoever I needed to be. I needed to get out of a program for 6 months. I'm trying to go home. I had things going on, but okay, I'm gonna be quiet. Cool. I'm not gonna work with you all day. Wasn't like that at Greystone. Wasn't like that at Greystone. You know, I like it here because there's a lot of good people like him. You know why it's good people? Because there's a lot of people who truly don't care at all. And there's a lot of people who would rather see you fail. I like Adelphi because they don't want to see you fail. I've been a part of different programs where they're like, oh, you don't like us? Oh, you think they want you to fail. They wanted you to fail, you know. You wouldn't be able to laugh like I hear. You know what I'm saying? Like there's different programs where it's not based around like it's just not that. You know what I mean? Being in Adelphi is like being in a charter school. Hey, isn't this a charter school?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Mrs. Harn says hi, by the way.
I love Miss Hahn.
Oh, yeah, she was all excited.
Miss Hahn are good people. This is what I'm talking about. This is a good school. Like, you're not in a bad school. Like,
16 years later, we're still talking about this guy and how much fun we had working with him. Do you remember? You remember that day she had 2 student teachers in the room. And you asked to come back. This guy, king of manipulations, asked to come back
he thinks
for a timeout.
I say manipulation. When I
King of
say-
manipulation.
Oh my goodness, man.
He goes, can I cross back to get a timeout? And I said, no, just let me cross back for a timeout. I said, no, there's two girls sit back here. He's like, yeah, I know. I got to teach you how to talk. I'm like, oh, Vic. End of the day, what's he do? Mrs. Pierce pulls me aside. Vic just gave me a note asking for those girls' phone numbers for when he gets out. And I thought to myself, Vic, you just have there is no stopping. But this guy was honest. And, you know, one nice thing about Vic, when you sit down with Vic to do a one-on-one session or even have a conversation, you know, there was no glamorizing. You know, he told me stories that made my skin crawl at times. Nothing bad, but I mean, stuff that you'd encountered growing up and stuff that you witnessed.
By the time I came to Sweeney, Greystone, I didn't get my manipulation from my parents. I didn't get it from, I was a bigger kid who I could look the part. I just couldn't sound the part when I was too young. You could tell I was a kid. But once I got a little bit smart enough to where I knew how to act like an adult from being around adults, I understood. This is what it's really about, understanding the severity of your situation, the reality of your situation, not what you want it to be. I could want my situation to be whatever. That's called delusional. You're going to learn that when you get like older. I ain't going to say when you get a girlfriend. I'm going to say when you get older, right? You'll learn delusional. You can make the world what you want it to be, or you can respect it for what it really is, you know? And then you get like more power over it. I just felt powerless and I hated it because I felt like I just had so much energy built up, like, you know? I felt so much better than a lot of my situations, but I was stuck in them. The stuff we saw as kids, I feel like it was glamorous. That's why we thought it was cool. You know, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to hustle. You're supposed to get you some money. You're not supposed to do none of that because you're not supposed to die over clothes, bro. You're not supposed to die over cars and houses and clothes and things that in the hood you're dying to get. Whole time, bro, you can get that on 2 jobs, bro. Show them you got a good source of income. They will give that to you. You don't even have to have that amount of money to get not how I was spending credit. I'm just saying, if it's that serious too, you know what I'm saying? It's not worth it. It's a lie. It's an illusion. They got it looking like something it's not. And once you know that, your whole life will change.
This is the Vic I miss here because this is the pep talks he give his roommates. And
I
I'm
was
like,
like this when I was 12,
Yeah.
10. I was a child really spitting game, bro.
and he used to give the best advice to his roommates. Remember that?
Hey, remember, man? They let me cut his hair. I ain't gonna cut hair, but I fought.
I wasn't there that day.
Remember the reality? Like I was trained and taught how to do something. Then there's the man, I've seen people do this my whole life. Never listen to the guy who say, I got you. Cap, do your own thing, right? I get to cut his hair, man. Oh my God, bro. Still can't, like, it's so funny because it's like a nostalgic feeling even being here. It's like going back in time. Like, it's like not going home and then going home and seeing your toys. You're like, oh, I used to play with this. Oh my God, remember I used to sit in my mom's room and play with this little toy. That's how I feel even coming on the campus. Only because of where my life was then compared to now. Like I was a super that way person. I could do it my way. Where's that? Oh man, what's up?
No, I was about to say, I can like 3 years ago, you're doing engagement. I said, Daddy.
Ain't that crazy? Imagine filling out over positive experiences. Like we went to this place and made a memory. And then I brought the kid back and made a memory, right? 2 different mind states. That toy is cool. I love little moments like that. It's cool. You need to go back to a house to do that. That's a blessing. I mean, someone in your family did that. At least that. A lot of people can't even go home tonight. I feel like taking that nostalgic memory, that imprint of man, you can do that with everything. Like I go to the hood, you see guys go angry. So it's a trained pattern. It's heavy. And it may be the reality of their situation. But if you can see that beforehand, then you can change that view. You know what I'm saying? Literally. Like for real. They used to be in Sweeney, man. They had timeout rooms. They care. They want to be therapeutic with you. You can treat him, man. You know, like we need more people like my man. That's too funny. Like I really can't believe it because I know what it's like to be different. You know, I know what it's like to be different, but that was hard. You feel me? So how he made me different, you couldn't play me to talk about me, laugh at me. Because then I'll take it personal. And I feel like I gotta show you what what you say? I'm like, yo, smile. It's confident in itself. Same man, 10 years, 15 years. Believe it, man. It's a lot more strength in that than you think. Because I'm different. I can be in a room. I was the kid who I could be with the nerdiest of the nerds. With the cool guys over there somewhere. Manipulation.
You kept a real group though. You kept a real group. You always did such a nice job though. I used to love running groups. I'm like, okay, what insight is Vic gonna bring today that's gonna cause me to give him a look?
I was in foster care, Sherman. I was in Delphi. I had already been to so many places that therapy sessions weren't really therapy to me. The therapy was why I was doing probably what I was doing to end up where I was at. Not a positive way to cope with nothing, you know, like self-medicating and lashing out and stuff like that. It's like the crazy part is the level of if you have self-control, I would say that's probably what it's really about. If you can learn anything on this planet, the more you learn how to control yourself, like say you angry, this is something I learned. I wasn't just angry for a moment. That anger came with me, right? Then I learned to separate myself from my feelings. I'm not angry. I'm angry at the moment. I'm angry right now. What's up?
So I was saying, when I first came in here, I didn't know how to control my anger. But the therapist that's in here told me like a 4-7-8 John. It's like a grievance that we said like the children you do something, you do that technique, and it's like you into your mind and like what you buy, like what consequences you get before you buy do that
Question. Breathing techniques is deep though. It's way bigger than just what that. It gets way bigger. The power of meditating and the power of breathing techniques. Again, when I said you can change the world around you, I'm dead literal serious. Like alchemy, like magic. I'm talking about like you wouldn't believe it. What keep you in the life you live in and the circumstances you live in through, this is probably a little bit over your age range, to be honest, because it probably took me every year of my life to learn this. You create your reality, your demeanor, the way you sit. The way you sit, if no one knows you, it's a statement. The way your posture is, you know what I'm saying? Everything about you tells something about you. Remember you said I was a manipulator? I knew how to have that. I could be as mad, plan mass destruction. As soon as we get back to the group home, I'm planning it. I know we got 25 minutes before I show myself, right? But in class, I was walking, I was quiet, I was raising my hand, I'm talking about I remember what he said to make me mad though. Or I remember what I'm using again for manipulation, to be honest. I'm using something that's handed against them. So I could bring it up and how therapy wasn't real because I was just being an asshole, you know? I get real light. But back to the breathing techniques, man. Meditating, breathing. You can visualize the world you want to live in, you can make it. No lie. Every car I ever wanted, I got. I swear to goodness. And I didn't listen.
Okay.
No, I never wanted a Hellcat. Right now I got a Suburban, I had a Caddy CTS, I had an RT Charger, Scat, I had the Valley, I had some cars, bro. I be forgetting about them. And it was all in my name. You know what I mean? Guess what I learned after it all? Worthless. I ain't waste all that money on all the cars. Waste of time and money. What's up? I did not think your voice. You used to say that to me because I was a kid. What's up, bro?
Trying
Never changed. I grew up. Okay, good. I was never wrong. I was right when I was this big. How I handled my experiences every day got me here. But my mentality, what I thought, I was like this then. That's what he's talking about. I would have had this exact same conversation with you, except it might have been a little bit more towards what I felt like was right at the time. But I was logical. I was never following. I grew up. Remember I said maturity is spiritual? It's more spiritual to me than my dad Muslim, my mom Christian, she's a deacon in the church, my pops is like, you know what I'm saying? I've watched the most structured with the title type of people do human stuff. Jealous stuff, no self-control stuff, angry stuff, you know? And it made me look at them like, what the heck is you that? What you keep saying doing the same stuff as cuz? But then I met people who had no title. Could have been the homeless man or something. Patient. Like, how are you able to stay calm? I would have went crazy at that moment. That's when I turned around. Because it was like, well, why can he and I can't? How come he can control himself and I'm not? How did he get a Benz and I don't have it? How did he get a mansion and I don't have it? Every problem I had for me. It wasn't the world. It wasn't the people around me. It wasn't even the environment. It was what I was doing with my time each and every day. Even my thoughts. I remember I told you I was plotting mass destruction. For what? Why? Shut up. If I knew to shut up, bro, if I knew to shut up, and if I had left that corner I was hanging on, I had everything I wanted 10 years faster. Swear to God. For real. I don't know, you gotta take control of your life. And it starts with self-control. You gotta take control of your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Forget last year, last month. You only act how you act because of something that went on when you was younger. Pretend it ain't happened. Imagine that. Imagine if I didn't argue with my race, but she's just problematic. You know, imagine if I didn't, just don't do it. and watch how you guys, it's like, you gotta give yourself a chance. You have to give yourself a chance. You know what I'm saying? I was telling the other guys, don't make a choice that's gonna ruin your life. I want to take a 1 or 2 when I left Greystone. Or 1 or 2, that was nothing. I was in Greystone for 9 months. I was in Sweeney for 6. I was in Sherman for 10. 2 years didn't sound like a lot of time to me. I'm like, man, this is not that same attitude I had in Greystone. Right? And my time went home. And nothing bad happened to me. I don't have a big story about, oh my God. I felt like as a man, I took my consequences for what happened. The problem wasn't with none of that. If you want to go do all that, that's on you. You like Middle Creek and county jails and penitentiaries, then maybe like small confined spaces. Or what I learned after all that was you have the power to do so much more than that. Like literally, give yourself a chance. I was ruining next year today. That's how mad I was. Now we're in placement, we're in Schumann. I didn't met guys in Harrisburg and all the Greystone Mountains and stuff like that. I never wanted that. I was trying to go play basketball and get some money. I got tired of the cycle. Now, instead of it being Greystone or being Sweeney, it's county jails and penitentiary. Hold up, bro. I'm tired. That's what it was. What grew me up? I got tired of wasting my time. You know what I'm saying? I wanted respect. Why you come out like a kid? The best thing you could do is just if you're so grown, you should go. Think about day hard. I didn't know that then. I'm making this day off. Well, I think that. Well, if you do, why do you text like that? Who are you talking to? Man, it's 20 years older than be quiet if you're that mature or that adult like. Once I started to control that type of stuff, my whole life changed. Literally. Like super literally. Like if I was to go to my phone library right now, you wouldn't even look at me right now and say, you see me in Miami and Vegas and all these little places, you'll be like, I'm trying to be like that guy. You know what I'm saying? It's possible, and I ain't even talking about nothing legal. Who'd have saw those cars I was talking about? Would have been that hood dream. Oh, okay. I wouldn't became like I wanted to be. That's why I said it depends on what your mind is. Don't waste it. It's not the 70s where it's like, oh, what am I gonna do? It's 2025, bro. They got robots that'll do your job for you. Like you can dead ass use an app. What? How much easier does it get? We don't have books no more.
I think our time's about up. Do you guys have any quick questions before Victor has to leave?
Suck, I like that.
Like, have you heard like writing? Have you ever tried?
I got album job because I didn't want a kid like you to listen to it, go do something dumb. Yeah, I see, keep it.
I used to confiscate the stuff all the time.
Keep it. Keep writing.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not wrong. It's me.
Good. Well, practice that reading during your therapist or something too. What's up? You can ask too.
For heaven's sake.
You owe me that pizza.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, we're talking about with you.